it strikes me we spend so much time talking about politics and monetary policy as though we can engineer or tweak or set a policy, but we never talk about just goods and services. I mean, this is what your
Absolutely.
book is talking about. We need productivity, we need innovation, we need profit signals for more goods and services. This can't be engineered or commanded. It just strikes me that, for instance, money. Money's gotten so funny now. You take Bill Gates.
Yeah.
Bill Gates has a lot more zeros in his bank account than I do. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, our lives are far more similar than they were between a middle class guy and a wealthy guy 300 years ago. I mean,
Oh,
that
not
that's that's because of deflation, innovation. I have a smartphone in my pocket that's roughly the same as Bill Gates. Maybe he has a nicer house or nicer car or whatever, but our lives are more alike than unlike,
Mhm.
and I think that's because of deflation, which seems like the shibboleth that
Mhm.
central bankers fight all day long.
Absolutely. It's that there is a massive welfare case for moderate deflation. Absolutely, there is. Deflationary pressures lead business owners and entrepreneurs to look for better alternatives, for more effective costing, for better management of inventories, for to invest in those technologies that make things easier and that make things more available to a wider public. Deflation is There's absolutely nothing negative about deflation when you include the words productivity, competitiveness, and efficiency. Absolutely. There's only one. Think about this: in the periods in which we have had very high levels of inflation, what we have basically seen is a complete collapse in innovation, productivity, and competitiveness. Why? Because inflation is not a tool for competitiveness. Inflation is a tool for cronyism. What you're basically doing is a subsidy on the least uh, competitive businesses that are usually very close to the government and that are unable to improve either the wages of the workers or the cost structure and the margin base of the business. That's why it is so important to tell citizens that this completely flawed idea that deflation is negative and inflation is good actually is proven by what they do on a daily basis as citizens. It's proven by the fact that you want to live in countries where deflationary pressures are allowing you to align your level of welfare to that of somebody as astronomically rich as Bill Gates, because you have a similar access to goods and services. In an inflationary economy, the equivalent of Bill Gates would basically be some, I don't know, farm owner or somebody who has the concession of a mineral resource. That would be the person. What would align you to that person? Absolutely nothing. What aligns you to and me to Bill Gates is that this device is extremely cheap. It's extremely cheap for everything that it contains. It might be expensive relatively, but if you think about it, what the evidence of the positives of deflation are precisely in technology, and that and technology innovation is actually deterred by inflationary pressures. So that's the point that we need to make people understand is that uh, the message that we need to combat deflation, create some inflation, because then with that level of inflation, people will consume more, save less. Companies will accelerate their investment programs. That will create a beautiful incentive to improve real wages above the level in which prices go up. That is an absolute fallacy. It just never happens. It absolutely never happens. The real wages never follow the inflationary pressure because the inflationary pressure is a subsidy on the sectors that prevent real wages from growing. And that's why productivity growth, which is the first derivative of real wages, that's why productivity growth collapses with massive inflationary policies.
Well, we can't separate any of this stuff from society or culture. I mean, it's all interconnected, and it makes us. I would argue that inflation and a policy of inflation makes us worse people,
Yeah,
high time preference people. But I want to give this quote. You're going to get yourself in trouble. I think this is actually from the introduction of the book. You say family is the most social economic agent. Be careful,
absolutely.
Daniel. Next thing you're going to bring up God or something. You're going to get in trouble with. You're going to get in trouble with this book. But just I mean, we're just about out of time. But I want to talk about the cultural ramifications of all this. So give us your thoughts.
Yeah, when I say family is the most social economic agent, it's for people to understand that whatever your family is that when free individuals get together for a common purpose, they willingly decide to help the other part of that economic agency uh, without any problem. Why? Based on a profit-based view. That is, that you're using the part of your savings and part of your wealth to create something that is better for everyone in that segment. Okay, that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that a society that is based on those similar principles, which are prudent savings and prudent investment, is much more social than one based on spending at any cost and debt.
Well, Daniel, I want to thank you so much for your time this afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, you can find his book, Freedom or Equality, his book on the central bank trap, and all of his other books at his Amazon page. Probably the best way to follow Daniel is via his website, which is Lacalle, Lacalle.com. There's both an English and Spanish language site there. He also has both an English and Spanish language YouTube page. You can find his Twitter feed and other things through Lacalle.com. And in terms of economists out there sort of in the trenches, providing analysis of real data, not over here in the academic or theoretical world, there's nobody I recommend more highly to stay engaged with than Daniel. And so, hey, Daniel, I want to thank you for your time today. Hope our listeners have a great weekend.
The Human Action Podcast is available on iTunes, SoundCloud, Stitcher, Spotify, Google Play, and on Mises.org. Subscribe to get new episodes every week and find more content like this on Mises.org.
Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe to my channel, like my videos, leave your comments below, and keep defending freedom. Thank you very much.